This bad boy is Acer's X45. Their 800R curved 3440 by 1440 240Hz OLED gaming monitor. This mammoth thing is suspiciously similar to the AOC AG456UCZD I reviewed pretty recently, because that too is an 800R 3440 by 1440 240Hz OLED gaming monitor. So realistically, anything I have to say about this, I would say about that. Although there are actually a couple of pretty key differences that do make them kind of stand apart. Let me show you around this thing and I can explain. Physically, this thing is huge. It's 45 inches diagonally, which coupled with the frankly insane curve means it fills your vision completely. Immersive doesn't really do it justice for just how sucked in you are to whatever you're doing on this thing. Whether that is gaming or just watching something or even just working, it truly wraps around your head. From the back, you'll find the I/O, two HDMI 2.0 ports, one DisplayPort 1.4 ports, one USB-C port for both DisplayPort Alt mode and as a USB data port for the USB 3 hub, plus 90-watt charging out, and also the USB-B port for that hub too. This is all housed in the plastic body in sort of the middle that attaches to the stand, whereas the panel itself is in a relatively thin metal case, which attracts fingerprints like mad. The stand itself has plenty of adjustability in height, tilt, and swivel, plus should you be able to find a VESA mount that can actually support the hefty 10 or so kilos of this monitor, you can VESA mount it. The panel itself is a WOLED, I believe from LG. That comes with some challenges. Being WOLED means that its sub-pixel layout is something like red, white, blue, green. So text looks a little off thanks to Windows being blind to the sub-pixel layout. There's also a pretty naff adaptive brightness limiter here. This one, much like the X27U I reviewed recently, takes a distractingly long amount of time to start cutting back the brightness. This is one of the biggest differences between the AG456UCZD and this X45. Here's some data from my open source response time tool, available at osrtt.com by the way, linked in the description, from the X45, where you can see that it takes in the order of 100 milliseconds or more to go from the peak to its steady state level. Now, here is the AOC monitor. See how much faster it cuts back? That just makes it way less intrusive compared to the X45, which is frankly an annoyance to use unless you set a brightness level to a low enough level that it doesn't need the ABL. For context here though, with only 1/9 of the screen lit, the Spider X2 reckons you're only getting between 350 and 400 nits at full white. But with 50% of the screen lit, remember only half, it's 185 nits. And with 100%, you're likely closer to 100 nits total. White is visibly grey on this thing. And what's even more interesting is that AG456UCZD actually hits more like 250 nits or more at 50% brightness or lit versus 185 on the X45. That's pretty significant. And since we're talking about the Spider X2 results, I should add that this is incredibly good in the colors department. It's true 10 bits and covers 97% of the DCI-P3 spectrum, and to the eye, this thing pops. It's vivid and vibrant, although the brightness does definitely let it down. While I would tell you the sort of color accuracy figures, the Spider X2 really doesn't get along with OLED panels, especially WOLEDs, although I would expect it to be pretty good. Unlike AOC though, this doesn't come with a calibration certificate in the box, although you do get a myriad of color space profiles from the on-screen menu. Everything from sRGB in general, or sort of native, to DCI-P3 and SMPTE is here. It's really pretty impressive, as is the rest of the customization. 6-axis hue and saturation, gamma, just the works. You've of course got things like brightness and contrast, and a few gaming features including FreeSync Premium, and OLED care features like auto-dimming and pixel orbiting that are just permanently on, plus display refresh reminders pretty regularly. Being a WOLED, at least in my experience, I find that these are a little bit more susceptible to burn-in, although with regular refreshes you should be fine. Interestingly, you get a 3-year warranty on that AOC, but only 2 years on this X45. For me though, much like the AG456UCZD, the pixel density is just a little on the low side. At 3440 by 1440 at 45 inches, you're looking at a worse pixel density than a 24-inch 1080p panel, or about the same as a 27-inch 1080p panel, something that I've been fairly clear just isn't for me, at least in the past. This just doesn't look as sharp as it should, especially for such a high-end and frankly expensive display like this. I felt the same about the AOC panel too. It's just not crisp enough for my liking and does detract from the otherwise unparalleled immersion that this form factor offers. Of course, for gaming, this is still just beautiful. Being an OLED means it has instant response times, and the latency is spot on too, which coupled with the stunning colours makes for one hell of a gaming experience. Even if it isn't as sharp as it should be, the fact that this thing wraps around your head, filling your peripheral vision, and not just side to side, but top to bottom too, makes for an incredible experience. The 240Hz refresh rates and both FreeSync and G-Sync supports makes it smooth too, and it's just a fantastic time. Really for any genre, FPS, racing, fighting, hell, farming sims, you're gonna have anywhere from a good to an amazing time on this thing. There is just one itsy bitsy teeny weeny little catch, you might say, that being the price tag. Even at the currently discounted price of £1,100, down from £1,400 at MSRP, that's still £300 more than the AOC version of the same panel. And that's the one that comes with a better adaptive brightness limiter, an extra year's warranty, and a calibration certificate in the box. While I still can't really recommend this panel regardless of who's selling it due to that lacking pixel density, if you're dead set on buying one of these panels from someone, well, it seems like a bit of a no-brainer to buy it from AOC instead of Acer here. The X45 is fine. The ABL definitely needs some work for sure, and with that year of less warranty, this should be cheaper than the AOC model. But for the right price, this is fine enough. I wouldn't buy either of them. I'd buy a QD OLED instead. Probably the Evnia 8600 that I have on my desk. Of course, those are my thoughts, but I'd love to hear yours in the comments down below. What do you think about the Predator X45? Is this a monitor for you? Would you rather go with the cheaper AOC one, go with something like my QD Evnia instead? Let me know in the comments down below. I will leave a link to it in the description if you're interested, and the end cards will have the review of the AOC one if you want to check that one out as well. You can also check out my open source response time tool over at osrtd.com, and that is linked in the description as well. If you want to see more videos like this one, hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell as well. If you want to see more, and otherwise that's kind of it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.